Oh, snap. Welcome back to the channel, y'all. My name's Patrick. If you like true crime, hit the subscribe button, YouTube. Hit the follow button, TikTok, while you can.
How dare you?
While you still can. Come over to YouTube, The Mystery Project. Y'all, links are down in the description of the YouTube channel. You can find everything. Y'all, this one, though, check this out. The truth about Nichol Kessinger.
How dare you?
New evidence, question mark? I don't know, but we're going to watch this video and find out. And this might actually be Kim, right? I hope so. I hope so, Kim. This might, or there might be, I don't know, but this is going to be a two-part series. So we're going to do the first part tonight, second part tomorrow. So y'all, as you're coming in YouTube, hit the like button for me, subscribe, and check this. Oh, and it's Annie Elise. Did I say that? Y'all, she's pinned in the description. Annie Elise, 10 to Life, awesome channel. Make sure you go subscribe to her, even though she's got like 2 million followers or something like that. So you probably already are. But if not, go check it out. All right, Nichol Kessinger, let's see what's going on here.
For your family.
The just released video shows 30-year-old Nichol Kessinger being interrogated.
Anything to him about
I don't even know if I should say this, but Chris, while he was talking to Special Agent Coder, made a lot of movements towards his neck area. Special Agent Coder actually came out of the room and he said he may have strangled her.
The hell?
It's interesting that agents draw conclusions based on Chris's body language, but why weren't the same conclusions drawn for NK's despite her exhibiting the same exact behavior?
Right.
man?
Now, today's
Man, that scared the hell out of me. What was that?
case that we are going to talk about, boy, oh boy, guys, it is one that has a lot of controversy out there, and it really has for years. It has to do with Chris Watts. Now, don't worry, I'm not going on this like long dark road of Chris Watts and going back to Watts Island in that sense, because we all are pretty familiar, I would imagine, with the Chris Watts case by now. If by some fraction of a miracle you are not familiar with that case and you do want a Chris Watts deep dive, let me know either via the Spotify Q&A section or through Apple reviews, and we can certainly talk about doing that. But I'm sure most of you by now know all about who Chris Watts is, the garbage human being he is, what he did, all of these things. Now, the last time I talked about Chris Watts, and specifically Chris Watts and Nichol Kessinger, his mistress, I thought that it was going to be my very last trip to Watts Island, but I hate to say it, I'm back. Here I am once again. Every time I think I've left that dumpster fire in the past, it just somehow like fucking ropes me back in, and
Did she say that?
only for good reason. I will say that. I'm not like just trying to like, you know, beat a dead horse. That's not a great expression, but like squeeze the whatever. I'm not good at expressions, guys, but you get what I'm saying. I'm not like trying to just talk about it for the sake of talking about it. There is a legit reason, because there is a lot of inconsistencies, a lot of red flags, a lot of what I view as circumstantial, yes, but shady, certainly, evidence. So I kind of want to talk about it. Now, as I've previously said when I talked about this case in the past, I completely 100% respect and agree with Shanann's family, the Rucheks, with their beliefs, their position that Chris is the sole person responsible for the heinous murders of Shanann, Bella, Cece, and Nico. Through and through, absolutely. However, I would be remiss if I did not bring up that there are more things about Nichol Kessinger that have surfaced, and this is after extensive research.
Oh, hell, here we go.
So there is a lot that I have to talk with you guys about today, guys, because now I'm even more enraged, more just disgusted, and more convinced, now more than ever actually, that Nichol knew way more than she was letting on. So in today's episode, we're doing a full summary, not of Chris.
Put a thumbs up in the chat right now if you think that she knew more than what she was putting on. Put a little thumbs up in the chat if you think so. Thumbs down. No, totally not. She's had nothing to do with it.
Watts and what his trash human being self did, but this is a deep dive of Nichol Kessinger and how she may in fact be a true master level manipulator. So we're going to be going into everything,
I
but just like
wonder.
here's a little top level preview. First, we're going to of course talk about her phone pings from the days of the murder, days before the murder, all of those different things, and some inconsistencies there. We're also
That's a lot of thumbs up in both platforms, all the platforms. Rumble, you doing thumbs up too?
going to talk about a secret three-way phone call that is believed to have taken place where she actually listened in on a conversation that Chris was having with the lead detective when they were trying to figure out where Shanann had gone. At that time, she was still just deemed to be missing. And it was kind of like the vibes of they were trying to suss out the information that detective knew, and Nichol was listening in, which we go into great detail about that. We also are going to talk about her whereabouts, the night and early morning hours of the murders and when those took place, and then even her whereabouts later that afternoon. Some shady stuff with her timestamps at work, some phone calls she made from the office. We're just going to talk about her phone pattern and history as a total. And I mean, we're just going to talk about a ton of the different lies and inconsistencies because through all of her interviews and then what's outlined in the 200 pages of discovery and what is there as black and white forensic and digital evidence, there is so much that didn't match, guys. For example,
right? Like pretty much the whole damn thing didn't match. And Montreal just jumped up on my lap and caught me with some claw action. Yeah, you're really cute, baby girl, but that hurt.
Example, when she had said that she was pushing him back into the marriage, that she wanted him to make his marriage work, that he should go to North Carolina to make it work, and that she was going to give him space. Meanwhile, she is simultaneously searching wedding dresses for 2 hours. She's Googling the phrase, will a man leave his wife and his kids for his mistress? Like, there is just so much to talk about. So I do want to give you a heads up because she did several different interviews and things are a little fractured. It doesn't exactly go in chronological order, but we're going to touch on all of these points along the way. So I think it's easy enough to follow, especially if you are familiar with the case, but I did want to just kind of throw that out there in case as we're going, you're like, wait, we didn't talk about the morning of the murders yet. It all comes.
Well, there we go. Montreal says hi, everyone.
Similar to the Casey Anthony video, what I want you to do is before we start going into everything in this episode, take a quick second, and if you're watching the video version of this, just comment below with if you think Nichol Kessinger had anything to do with it, knew more than she's letting on, maybe just wasn't 100% telling the truth. Then I want you to come back at the end of this video and comment and tell me if your mind has changed, if you still think the same way, and what. Because actually, and every time we do this exercise, I end up learning so much more about you guys and that so many minds do change during the video. So let me know. So as I said, I previously did an in-depth video back in 2022 where I was really outlining all of Nichol's lies, her red flags, which was directly tied to evidence that came out of a 2,000-page document of discovery. And I will link that full document in the show notes, but I read every single page, guys, literally. 2,000 pages. I read every single page. I watched the hours and hours worth of her interrogation and interview footage. When I tell you I did my motherfucking homework on this, I did.
Oh, damn, that's two. She dropped it twice, y'all.
Definitely did. Plus, since that video, there have been a lot of new updates as well. So we have got a lot to talk about. In this episode, I'm also going to be playing some clips from her video footage of her interview. I'm going to be also playing some clips from a YouTube channel called ATS News, which is a very good true crime channel, and she has covered so much of the Watts case. So definitely check that channel out, and I will link it in the show notes too. But I'm adding in some media so that you can really hear in Nichol's words her reaction, her vernacular, all of the different things. Now, before we get into Nichol, I do want to share with you some hate voicemails that Chris received, and these were released and put into the discovery. And honestly, they're pretty top notch. They're pretty great. So take a listen.
Oh, is people sending in stuff to Chris Watts? Like calling him out for being the that he is?
Hey, this is Chris. Can't get the phone right now, so leave a message. I'll just call back.
Is this from like
What? Baby killer. There's not a lot I could say to you that hasn't already been said to you a bunch of times by a bunch of people. So I just wanted to let you know that I hope you do have a really long life. I hope you live a really long life in the hell concrete art box of your design.
Did she call it a concrete fart box? Is that what happened?
You're a piece of shit, bro. Go f- yourself. Hope you run and die in prison.
Chris.
I mean, accurate.
You're not going to be able to get to the phone for a while, my man. Oh, hope you're right.
There are also voicemails
I hope you're right.
from Nichol from before the murders, where honestly, she sounds like a giggly child. And
No.
this audio makes every single inch of
No, please don't play it, y'all. Oh, God. When she's like, hey, it's me.
my body just like shrivel up.
Oh, no. You talk too much. Can we listen? No, that's copyright infringement. This is called a commentary channel for a reason. I'm not just going to replay somebody else's content. That's really stupid and illegal. So have a wonderful life and go find something else to do. Bye.
Cringe to the core because it is so bad. And I want to
It really
apologize
is.
in advance because it is one of those things where when you hear somebody or see somebody do something, you get like secondhand embarrassment. You know what I'm talking about?
Right.
But I think that in hearing the way that she talks to Chris, it's a really good illustration of their dynamic and how she talks to him and what their relationship is before we full on dig into all of her lies and the ways that she portrays herself throughout all of her interviews.
Oh, God.
Hi. It's me. I missed your face. I was just calling to say hi. Call me back. Bye. Hi.
So, Nichol had an interview with the police on August 16th, 2018. This was 3 days after the murder of
Man, if I got a voicemail like that, block.
Chris Watts' entire family, where he just annihilated everybody. This interview was over 3.5 hours long, and the entire time she is just rambling and then talking her way through it and convincing these FBI agents that there is absolutely nothing to see in regards to her. And she does it in a way that is just truly incomprehensible and frankly mind-boggling. Now let's start with in this interview. Nichol says that after meeting Chris in June of 2018, she didn't know Shanann's name. She didn't know it right away, and that she didn't even
But
know
you
her
Googled it?
name for a while, although he did mention having a significant other.
Your relationship with Chris and what you know about Chris and his family and events relating to Chris Watts.
He mentioned that he did have a significant other, and then he told me that those two were in the process of a separation.
Did he mention the children's name or his significant other's name?
I didn't know his significant other's name for a while.
So if this were true, if she truly did not know Shanann's name, and she didn't learn of it until, well after meeting Chris and starting their affair, tell me, how is it possible that she was searching for Shanann's name and using her specific name in those searches, and those searches dated back way earlier before she even met Chris? Because police found that she had been searching on Google for Chris Watts as early as August 3rd, 2017, and she didn't meet him until June 2018, and she was also searching for Shanann Watts back in January of 2018. Again, months before she met Chris. Feels a little gross, right? Feels a little, that doesn't really make much sense. Now, originally, there were reports that she was searching Shanann back in 2017, and around that same time, she was also searching Chris's name. However, it was then disclosed that it was a typo, but that there were proven search histories that showed that she was searching.
Didn't it come back out? Y'all, I'm pretty sure somebody told me that it actually, they said, we double checked this, and it wasn't a typo. Like, she really did search that in 2017. Can anybody confirm or deny that? I don't know. I don't know for sure. By the way, TikTok, hit the follow button if you're new here. We only got a few days left, so You might as well hit the follow button now. We're also live on YouTube, Rumble, X, like all the platforms right now. So come find me on, well, YouTube right now, because you can actually see the video. So on TikTok, you can listen to it, but on YouTube, you get to see what we're watching. So y'all, The Mystery Project is the name of the YouTube channel. The Mystery Project should be on the screen somewhere over here. Or click my face, and in the bio, it's the top link, The Mystery Project. Go, 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 go. No, we don't. Trump just saved TikTok. Have you not heard? Did he really? We're saved now. Biden and Trump have both pledged to save it. Really? I just saw an article. Lucy. It's not. Oh. Well, there you go. We just made TikTok great again. All right, let's keep going. I'm going to verify this. I don't know if he did yet, but let's find out.
Shanann in January of 2018. However, that is not completely correct. Now, I discussed this in my previous video, but after even more research, I learned that there was a significant detail that really gives me pause. So this is coming directly from Crime Online, and I will link this article in the show notes so you can see it for yourself. But it says, last week, a records supervisor at the Frederick Police Department said that an entry in one of the phone data review reports showed that Kessinger did an internet search for Shanann Watts on September 1st, 2017, and that it was a typo, and they referred Crime Online to the Weld County District Attorney's Office for further clarification on that entry, and on additional entries in a different section of phone data review showing that Kessinger searched for Shanann Watts in January 2018, which references multiple deleted searches for Chris Watts dating back to August of 2017. Following a series of email exchanges and phone calls with the Weld County District Attorney's Office regarding the reports, Crime Online spoke by phone to Weld County District Attorney Michael Rourke on Monday. Rourke said that the reports reflect what was shown in the forensic analysis of Nichol Kessinger's phone. Michael Rourke.
Isn't that the guy, the Michael Rourke dude? Remember Behind Criminal Minds? We watched quite a few of his videos, but he did a video where he put in an interview, because I guess the Michael Rourke, I think it's his wife has like a podcast, and he was on his wife's podcast, and then the Behind Criminal Minds posted a video that used a clip of that podcast, and they hit his channel with a like a strike, like a takedown notice for using the podcast. Because he was calling out, like, why didn't this guy search it? Why didn't this guy search for more, why didn't they investigate Nichol more? I'm pretty sure. I'm fairly certain.
Said the dates to which you are referring in 2017, where it appears she Googled or otherwise searched Shanann, was data that came off of her phone. It is not a typo error in the report. The detectives are reporting what was contained in the data from her phone. I don't know the answer to the question of why or how those dates ended up in her phone. If the district attorney's office questioned or planned to question Kessinger about data suggesting she was aware of Chris and Shanann for up to a year before the murders, Rourke said that Chris Watts' guilty plea precluded any need to further probe the results of the forensic analysis of Kessinger's phone.
That makes no sense. True Crime and Megan, thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Michael Rourke said,
well, make sure you give her a follow.
We did not get to the point in our investigation of attempting to independently verify that or not, because Chris Watts pled guilty. When you ask me if I have verified that information, the answer to your question is no. Nichol Kessinger told us that she met and started the relationship with the defendant in 2018. So where that anomaly in the data comes from, I can't answer it for you. I don't know the answer to it. I mean, a pretty loaded statement, and I'm going to break it down a little bit too for you, but many suspect that this is actually why Nichole's father kept saying, quote, if Chris confesses, it'll be the end of the case, right? Always like kind of wanting to make sure that it'll be the end if he just confesses, that they won't look into his daughter anymore. And a lot of people also think that that's why Chris confessed so quickly after he failed that polygraph test, so that he could essentially save Nichol from being implicated in any of this. Now, what stuck out in that statement to me the most is they are saying there is clear data from the district's attorney's office saying She had searches in her phone dating back to before the murders, before she even met Chris. Why those weren't further investigated was simply because Chris pled guilty and confessed to everything, which is so crazy to me because even though he confessed to it, there's clear forensic data that showed something was afoot. Why else would she be searching these people a year in advance of dating him, a year in advance of the murders? It does not make any sense. And it just feels like a big red flag. Another thing that doesn't really add up as we continued to go through Nicole's interview, all of the footage, all the documents, all these things. Nichol said that she and Chris went on their very first date around her birthday, which was July 7th. She said that right before Father's Day, Chris told her that he had kids, which she apparently thought was really cute, and he also told her that he was separated from his wife, so she assumed he was just a single dad. However, on Father's Day, which was June 17th in 2018, well before their very first date when that whole interaction happened according to Nichol, Shanann wrote a public tribute on her public Facebook page to Chris about Father's Day. And we know now, through the data, through everything, that Nichol was searching and watching her Facebook account. So she would easily see this and know that they are, in fact, together and they are not separating, negating her
Ding, ding, ding.
claim that she was under the impression that they were mutually divorcing this entire time. So as she's being asked these questions during the
Is that when she searched? Is that when she went up and was like, "Oh, the man I'm sleeping with, will he leave his wife to be with the mistress?" Is that about the time you were doing those searches, Nicole? You crazy. By the way, YouTube, do me a favor, everybody watching, hit the thumbs up button. Let's spread the word about the live stream. TikTok, I love you guys. Make sure you hit the follow button. Tap the screen like crazy. Do all the TikTok things. And if you want to watch this video with us, you can. We're live on YouTube. It is just pink right there. The Mystery Project should be pinned on the screen. The Mystery Project. Come subscribe. Who knows what's happening with TikTok in a few days. So, just come on over. Come on over.
This interview, Nichol starts becoming frustrated with the officer who was asking her these pointed questions. And then she actually started even talking over him, saying that she can't remember the details now.
Anything like that. If he ever made any kind of statements that you were like, whoa, that was weird. Or why would he say that? Or why did he mention that? Do you understand what I'm looking for?
I really understand. I just feel like some of this happened so long ago.
Maybe starting a relationship when you're still married. Maybe like the first thing he said.
That I can't tell you like the exact words of the exact conversation at the exact time and place, because it's like we had a lot of conversations. I mean, we talked every single day. So it's like I'm trying to help you guys with the stuff like the stuff that's more current. I can give you guys a lot more like detail and exact times when you're at.
You know what the craziest thing is? Like, even if she had, and I mean, as of right now, no charges, right? So she didn't have anything to do with it. But I know a lot of people think that she did. But what is crazy as hell is that even if she really didn't, like even if she's completely and utterly innocent like she is right now, right? Because no charges are filed. Even if that's the case, it doesn't matter. Nobody believes it. Nobody's ever going to believe it. And can you imagine having to live your life knowing that? Can you imagine having to live your life knowing that? That even if you are, because right now technically she is, right? She is. But you have to change your name and move to God knows where. YouTube, hit that thumbs up button for me. Let's go.
Asking me about something that happened 6 weeks ago and exactly what was said. It's like, I mean, I'm sure I can give you a general idea, but to be honest with you, like to pinpoint exact words, it's not going to happen.
I'm not looking for exact words.
Nichol also tried to say that after seeing pictures of the girls in Chris's house, that she was wondering why he wanted to give all of that up. It seemed like a beautiful life. He had these beautiful girls, this amazing life. Why would you ever want to give that up?
And we were there not very long, but that time I saw a picture of his wife and one of his kids. And I remember thinking to myself, like, wow, she's so beautiful. And I like took a step back and I was just like, this man has a gorgeous house. He has beautiful babies.
Not for long, though.
He has a beautiful wife.
Wasn't he about to lose his house?
He has an awesome job. Like, why would he want to leave this? And I remember talking to him about it, and that was the
Looking at you, Nicole, I asked the same question.
first time that I tried to actually say, what do you think about not separating from your wife? Like, what if you really try to work on this? And he had expressed to me that we've tried to work on this and it's not working, so that is why we're separating. And I spent some time, like, just, you know, kind of, because it almost made me feel bad, where I was like to the point where I'm engaging in a relationship with a man who, the way he described it, is in a contractual agreement, but was not in like an emotional relationship with somebody. And for me, the way I would have preferred to do this is to have waited till that contractual agreement was also done, and he was done. And he could have approached me and said, I'm just had a divorce, you know, maybe we could take this slow. What do you think? But instead it was, oh, we're separated and we're working on a divorce. And that is the part that I feel bad about, because I should have waited on that and I didn't. And, you know, I was just like, well, they're already there. So, you know, but then being in a house, I was just like, why? Fix this. Find a way to fix this. Make it work, you know? And I was like trying to push him to do it, and he seemed pretty reluctant to do it. He didn't want to. And I don't know, we were still seeing each other fairly frequently, but I kind of like backed away so we weren't hanging out quite as much, and we were still close, but it was just like a really
You were looking at wedding dresses and searching if the married man you're with is gonna leave his wife to be with you, but you were backing off. Y'all, you know what emoji to put in right there. Fill up the chat with the emojis that describe your feelings about that. Oh, hey, see, there's a bunch of those brown emojis.
I wanted him to try. Like, I wanted to know that he tried and it didn't work, and then he moved on, not that, you know, they both kind of tried and then he got himself into a situation with somebody else. And I don't know. I just thought he had a beautiful life going on and he could have made it work. That was the way I looked at it from the outside.
Is this something you reflected on since this event, or was this you?
No, I was doing it then. Like
you said, this doesn't look right. He's kind of, I don't want to be responsible for breaking up a marriage, especially with 2 children. Is that kind of the gist I'm getting here?
I think it didn't look right. I mean, I think he was legitimately sleeping in the basement, and I didn't think that these two were, I mean, I think it was like, hey, we're both stuck in this house for now. We got to sell this. In the meantime, you live here, I live here, we sleep in different.
But you just said that they were like, why would you give up? You have such a beautiful house, everything like that. But now you're saying that you knew that he was talking about having to sell the house? Man, this lady is full of contradictions, huh?
Rooms, take care of the kids. That's just like kind of how I took that. And no, I didn't think it didn't look right. I just thought it just seemed like he had so much going on and it was just beautiful that I was like, why don't you just try this out, you know, and see if you can.
But then you were also searching for how to prepare for. Why is it spicy? Y'all remember that search, don't you? It is crazy as hell. TikTok, hit the follow button if you're new here. My name's Patrick. If you like true crime, we're live every night. YouTube, we're like 9 likes away from 100. Everybody hit the thumbs up button for me real quick. Please and thank you. I'll get Montreal up here again. Where is she? You guys like the kitty? Let's get 100 likes.
Fix it. And he'd always be like, well, what about us? What about us? I'm like, don't worry about us. Like, that is more important. Like, try to see if you can, like, salvage whatever it is that you have going on with your wife. And you know, I always got the impression that he was a great father to his kids, like, always. And so, you know, I was like, and be the dad that you want to be. I was like, and see if you can make it work. And he just, like, we kind of talked about it off and on for like a few weeks, and I was just kind of like, I don't know. Like, I think I was kind of like cold beaten about it after I went over his house. And so
And she says that she actually had encouraged him at one point to be with his family and to make his marriage work. And the way that she says this is...
Hold on. Yo, we got the perfect thing to put for that. Oh, Nichol Kessinger, you tried to tell Chris Watts to make it work with Shadan?
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my god. Stop fucking lying.
Yeah. I'm so sure you did that.
Very, very disturbing to me. Almost like, yeah, we had an affair, but I'm actually this really selfless person who was trying to encourage him to make his marriage work. I was telling him he had such a beautiful family. Why not try to make that work? And encouraging him to get back together and rectify things with Shanann, as though she is like the martyr in this.
I remember when he was in North Carolina and he was like trying to patch things up with his wife, and he told me he loved me, and I was like, don't say that to me. Like, please go try to fit. And I mean, and that might even be in the text too, where it's like, don't say those words to me and then go try to make peace with your wife and lay in bed with another woman. Like,
but the reality in all of this is that she was extremely in Chris's life, involved in a relationship, so much that she actually had literally ridden in Shanann's car. But in her mind, surely the detectives must believe that she's just this innocent bystander, right? She just happened to have sex with Chris, but she's a good person. I mean, she literally tries to act like their relationship was barely anything, nothing, casual. Yet her phone logs showed that they called and texted nearly every single day. But Nichol wants you to believe that she was actually trying to, like, counsel Chris to repair his marriage? No. And it even gets way more obvious.
And why the hell would you take marriage advice from Nichol Kessinger?
That's suspicious. That's weird.
I mean, she doesn't seem like the type of person you want to take marital advice from, you know?
Yes, and gross as we continue. So next, they talked about her phone and collecting the data from that, and Nichol responded to this, again, in a very odd way. She said, I feel like this situation is crazy, regardless whether I give you my phone or not. And then her dad kind of interrupts, and he says, well, if you do, it's just going to reiterate everything that you've already said. Now, I do want to make note of this, because if you haven't followed this case closely, Nichole's dad was in that interview room with her almost the entire time. Actually, I think pretty much the entire time.
That's nuts too, y'all. Can you believe that?
Which is not standard practice. But he had a previous relationship with the police department. There's also some allegations about his pull and his influence, which we may get into. Let me decide. But it was not the norm. And it very much came across throughout the entire interview as though he was coaching her answers, as though he was shutting certain things down.
Gee, I wonder why. Why would you have to do that? Why would you have to coach answers and shut things down if there's truly nothing to hide? What would be the reason for that?
And it just felt like not only had Chris potentially tried to protect Nichol from being implicated, but now her father was as well. Now, we already know at this point that through the 2,000 pages of discovery, we know that Nichol tried to delete as much as possible off of her phone before even going into this interview with the police. So then when her dad said that and said like, oh, well, it's already going to just reiterate everything that you already said if you give them your phone, right? Nichol responded and she said, yeah, well, I mean, it's kind of a good backup. A good backup? I don't know. Listen.
Nuts.
He's not going to look at your phone right now. He's going to put it on a disc and they're going to give it to me.
Gotcha. I don't know. Okay. I really want to help you guys. I do. I feel like this whole thing is just going to be crazy regardless of whether I give you my phone or not. I mean, that's kind of how I look at it. Like, it's happening. It's going to happen.
Well, the text say how long, so it's not like...
Well, they do. That's the other thing, too. I mean, that's kind of a good backup. Yeah.
So after going back and forth with the detective for a while about giving them the phone so that they could go through her photo history, her text history, her call logs, all of the things, She told the police that there's nothing else than what is on her phone and that everything is in there, even though at this point she had deleted so much of it already. She was trying to tell them everything that you would possibly want to know is in there, not acknowledging, oh no, I actually wiped my phone, but you can have whatever's left over of it. Nichol also
That's like that damn, what was that dude? The Steven Stearns guy? Is he in jail yet? He had to just plead guilty and go straight to hell, right? Maddie Soto and Jennifer Soto and Steven Stearns. Remember he said he accidentally factory reset his phone like the day before he was arrested. Oh, how do you accidentally factory reset your damn phone? That makes no sense. He'd been better off being like, I don't know where it is. I lost it. It blew up. That's more believable than, man, I threw it on the bed, and when it landed, it just bounced around, somehow put my passcode in, somehow went to settings, somehow went to reset, erase all content and settings, and then actually went down and hit OK at the end of it. Then it logged into my iCloud. Crazy as hell. I don't know what the hell happened, but my iCloud got logged into, turned my iPhone, got turned off. I was just watching this happen in awe, and then it hit OK, and then my phone went dark. It was crazy as hell.
Says in this interview that she
dumbass
didn't learn about Shanann's pregnancy until the newspaper reported it, and the news aired about Shanann missing, and Chris gave that infamous, horrific interview where he's like rocking back and forth. However, computer records from the discovery show that Nichol again frequented Shanann's Facebook page, where Shanann had not only made that public.
Are you crazy as hell, Nichol? On Shanann's Facebook page? What are you doing there? What are you doing there? You looking for recipes? You trying to figure out what to throw in a crock pot? You creepy, creepy person. You're sick.
Tribute to Chris for Father's Day, but she also announced her pregnancy, and she would also post frequent updates about her family. And Nichol had all of this in her digital history. She was seeing it, but she was telling the officers, as if they're stupid and wouldn't connect the dots, that she didn't learn about this until the case was a media sensation. She also said that if she had known that Shanann was pregnant, she wouldn't have been with Chris in the first place. And when she says this, the FBI agent stops her for a second to press her a little bit more into what she meant by this, because obviously that could be a motive for Chris. Certainly, if...
Oh, I see what yep.
Nichol found out that he was expecting a baby and she was threatening to leave him, that would be a motive for Chris to murder his family, correct, if he wanted to be with her. But then, once again, her dad steps in, and he tells the officer to stop asking leading questions.
So in those 6 years, though, they had 2 children.
Is that the dad right here, like next to me in the blue shirt right there? That must be the dad.
Yep.
And you said earlier you did not know she was pregnant until reading the newspaper.
Yep.
So that never came up in any conversation. There was no indications that was going on. He never hinted to anything like that. As far as you knew, he was just leaving her. He had 2 children, and that was the final take on that.
Yes. I know why he lied to me. He lied to me because if I'd have known that he had a child on the way, I'd have never wasted my time with him in the first place. Like, none of this would ever even occur. He would have just told me the truth.
Why the fuck you lying?
Why you always lying? Oh my God. Stop fucking lying. None of that would have happened. But you were on her Facebook every freaking day and she had posted that she was. You just skipped over those? You didn't see those posts? You didn't see those?
So do you think if he found out that you, if, let's say this week you guys were to go look at some apartments, and this is hypothetical, but you've never found out that his wife was pregnant, would that have changed anything? Like you just said, if I knew his wife was pregnant, I wouldn't be in this picture. So if his wife was not pregnant, and forgive me, but if he takes her out of the picture, you're never going to know that she was pregnant, right?
What do you mean picture the picture?
If he murdered her, she's out of the picture. You're never going to know if she was pregnant. If he can get away with murder, you're not going to. I got divorced from my wife. You say, do you understand what I'm saying here? If she's gone,
but this
don't lead.
Hypothetically,
Please.
Yeah.
Don't.
Hypothetically, if she,
whoa,
you understand where I'm going. If you didn't know,
you're leading into questions that are nothing with your.
If you didn't know, though,
Wait, Nick.
That she was there.
Did you hear what I said?
I'm following you. I just want her to answer a question that relates to, she said something that's important.
This interaction is just so weird because this is a quadruple murder investigation at this point. Shanann, Bella, Cece, Nico. Her dad does not need to be there. He is not an attorney. She is not a minor. It makes no sense. And like I said, there has been a lot of discussion and speculation about her dad's ties to law enforcement. None of them have been verified, so I don't really want to go into it too much further, but I will just throw that piece of information out there. Now, here is where it gets truly disturbing. In Nicole's final interview with the police on August 23rd, 2018, she said, quote, "I mean, it is what it is. I've only been working with them for 4 months."
That was disappointing because they told me, I informed them of the situation, and then they contacted me like a day later and said, "Oh, you're good, don't worry about it." And I contacted me the day after and pretty much just let me go. I mean, it is what it is. I'm like, unfortunately, I'm for like 4 months.
Man, she's crazy as hell. You know what's nuts too? How did she go from like she's calling Chris, she's on the phone sounding like a damn chipmunk. Oh my god, like hi, I miss you. Like all that craziness to like this. Like her voice dropped like 4 octaves. Like all of a sudden she goes from that to just like, yeah, man, I don't know, this shit was crazy as hell. Yeah. What happened? Oh man, no, my phone. And then her dad just coming out and be like, don't lead. What? Man, this is just crazy. By the way, YouTube, do me a huge favor, everybody watching, hit the thumbs up for me. Let's get 200 likes. That would be awesome. And TikTok, y'all hit that follow button. My name's Patrick. If you like true crime, I'm live every night. And I'll be live on TikTok for as long as I can. We'll see what happens with the whole TikTok. But I am always live on YouTube. So y'all come over to The Mystery Project on YouTube. Come subscribe. The link is up in the bio too. If you just click my face up there, it's the top link, The Mystery Project. Come subscribe. We're getting close to 25,000 subscribers over there. So y'all come on over.
Now, I'm not trying to go all conspiracy nut here, I promise you guys, but if she's saying that she's only been working at Anadarko for 4 months, she met Chris in June. So does that mean that she actually started before that in either April or May? Because that would have had to have been the case at the time of this interview. So I'm just trying to figure out how we even reconcile that. And also, how do you explain the deleted searches that turned out to not be typos, where you were searching for Chris Watts back in August of 2017, if you didn't start working with him until April, May, or June of 2018? And also searching Shanann Watts on September 1st in 2017, months and months before you ever even met Chris. And then she searched Shanann again in January of 2018, still months before she entered a relationship with Chris. So like I said, all of that forensic data was in the discovery, and it has been pulled and it has been talked about. And the district attorney had said that the reason that they didn't investigate any further into those Google searches of Chris and his family back in 2017, they had just said like, hey, well, we didn't get to the point in our investigation where we needed to independently verify anything because Chris confessed. He pled guilty. And they also said that they had absolutely no reason to investigate Nichol Kessinger at that point in time, and that it was not a witch hunt. Not a witch.
What? Man, they sound crazy as hell. You have somebody that could potentially, and there's like circumstantial evidence that's a little bit kind of like, this is weird. And you're like, well, no, this other person said that they did it, so he confessed. Oh, yeah, we're done.
hunt. Nobody's trying to
If you think that is crazy, put a comment right now and say that's crazy.
make this a witch hunt. They're just trying to figure out who, in fact, was a player in this, who is truly responsible for this. So if the dad does, in fact, have any sort of influence or ties to law enforcement, again, trying really hard not to put my tinfoil hat on right now.
We definitely need to accelerate the case because the more it takes, the less sure that they are of situations.
But is that perhaps why this wasn't investigated further? Because on what planet, guys, have we ever talked about a true crime case where somebody who is an accessory to a murder in one form or another is not implicated, is not gone after, is not investigated?
I don't really know what to do. I feel like if I talk to them, they're either going to try to like find some holes in my story or try to get me to like be Chris's only ally, and I don't really feel like dealing with either one of those.
You better believe if there were searches in, I don't know, let's talk about, okay, the Idaho 4 case. Let's throw that out there right now. You're telling me if there were searches in somebody else's phone about Brian Koberger before then, about Kaylee, about Maddie, about any of them, that people wouldn't be investigating that? That they wouldn't try to see if there was any sort of connection there? You're trying to tell me that just because Brian now is going on trial for the murders, it's case closed, nobody else needs to be investigated? No. And maybe that's a poor example because I do believe that Brian did act independently. That's just my belief in these murders. So maybe there is a better example I could give. But what I'm just trying to say by that is like in no case that we've ever talked about has there been clear evidence that is in the discovery that looks shady where somebody just turns a blind eye to it.
Yeah.
So why is that happening here?
Don't look here. Ooh, gotta be quicker than that.
Why on earth? Especially, not to mention, when there is clear motive on the table.
Yeah,
clear
that's
motive
the
as to
other
why
thing.
Nicole would want her boyfriend to do that so that they could be together because he did have a baby on the way. Or clear motive because she could have helped with the cover up. I mean, it just makes no sense.
It does.
Not to mention the element of lying to the FBI. Because if you're lying
that
to
too.
the FBI, of all people, it would usually end far differently for the vast majority of people, more than it did for Nichol Kessinger in this case. But I'm not trying to get all hung up on that, so let's move on to more red flags and even more discrepancies according to evidence that is outlined in that 2,000-page document of discovery, because this is not the only time that she lies. Not even close, guys.
Oh, hell, but that is all the time we have for tonight. YouTube, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up button. Let's get 200 likes. TikTok, hit the follow button. I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Hopefully we're here, through this weekend. If not, click the link in the bio. Come subscribe to the YouTube channel. Because the either way, we're always live on YouTube, so you might as well just have the backup. The backup is YouTube anyway. So YouTube, stick around because you're gonna get redirected over and watch some of the haunted side on YouTube. See y'all tomorrow night.